Let me bring Tom Burke into the conversation now. He chairs and is founding director of E3G. He's spoken to us before on the programme. Former government advisor on climate change. Welcome back, Tom. How are you?
I'm good, Eddie, thank you. I'm very fascinated to listen to Graham.
Yeah.
And his dilemma. I'm sure he's, in a way, speaking for all of other people who really are beginning to get the message that this is serious and for real, and it will need them to think about how to change.
The holiday thing is interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people fly. Sometimes, for some, it's only once a year. But for people to stop doing that, even one trip a year, would make a difference, wouldn't it?
Well, yes, it would help, but it's not where the solution lies. Individuals have got to do their bit, and actually, by and large, most people are very like Graham. They're willing to do their bit. What we really need is politicians to give a lead and to make sure that the whole economy is moving in the right direction. I was very struck by Graham's dilemma, of course, because, especially in your recommendation, you go to Aviemore. If climate change goes on changing, pretty soon you won't be able to go skiing in Aviemore, and you won't even be able to go skiing in the Alps. Already the lower slopes are beginning to feel the pressure now. So if we're 10 years down the line, people won't even have that choice because it'll be taken away because we failed to deal with the climate.
Having spoken to you before, Tom, if I say to you, who are you inclined to trust on the environment between Greta Thunberg and Donald Trump? You're not going to plump for the president, but can I ask you to just remove your doubts about him as an individual and his overall message, and put to you his point about optimism and how that is important in this regard?
He's right to talk about optimism. Human beings are much better at pursuing opportunities than they are at avoiding threats. But he's wrong to think that the opportunities lie in continuing with a president that isn't going to work. That really is a route into pessimism and defeat of the worst kind. The optimism lies in building the low-carbon future that we have got available to us if we can build the political will. So I think he's just got the thing, and as in other issues, he's got it the wrong way round. The real optimists are the people who think and believe that we really can build a future in which we can have the goods and services we want, but also not wreck that prosperity and security by losing a climate which is manageable.
Is part of the problem for Greta Thunberg and everyone else trying to get that message across that it's always the same message? It's always we're doomed unless we do something very serious right away.
Well, she's right about how urgent the problem is, and it's not just her. It's pretty well every scientist, especially climate scientists in the world. It's the U.S. military. It's most leading politicians in the European Union and the UK. It's central bankers, and increasingly, as we saw just the other day, it's major global investors who've really begun to get the idea that this is something we must do something about urgently and tomorrow. So I think part of the problem is that, and it's a structural problem which you'll be familiar with. By and large, the public conversation tends to focus on the negative rather than the positive. So all the amazing activities that are going on around the world to build that low-carbon economy of the future are actually nothing like as attractive as media stories as the sort of, as Greta standing up and speaking truth to power directly to Donald Trump.
Tom, always good to hear from you. Thank you. Tom Burke, Chairman and Founding Director of E3G, experts on climate diplomacy and energy policy. We'll talk more about this in a moment.